Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Good morning and welcome to the Ordinary Daily version of the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Wednesday, July 17, I believe. 17. I normally have my watch, but I don't have my watch on today, so I couldn't really check that date for you guys. And I always forget. I forget like every day. I forget the day. Interesting day. Yesterday at the end of the podcast, we talked about having a plan, having a schedule, having a calendar. I mean, too many days I come in here and I start talking to you guys, and when I'm done, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do today? I don't even know what my workout is for the day. I kind of think of it on the fly. And then it's also subject to change as the day goes on. So I thought about that after the podcast, and I decided, you know what? I have to be very efficient here these last few days. From today, 8 days until we leave for Lake Placid. So that's it. That's all I got. 8 days of tapering fun. So I put together a schedule, and I put together a schedule of my workouts. And then on top of that, I put together a schedule of the things that I need to get done for the podcast, for all these projects that we're working on. You know, we have the podcast itself, Ordinary Marathoner. We've scheduled 2 guests in the next couple days, and next 2 weeks actually. Tomorrow I'll be talking with Ben Hinton. We'll be updated on his Olympic dreams and that progress in that respect. Looking forward to kind of catching up with him. And then next week we have Denny Cray coming on. You guys might know Denny. Denny and I have a lot of parallels. Denny has a podcast similar to me, and he's a coach. He's been a coach for years. I'm just kind of dipping my toe in there, and actually he just started his own virtual race, which is going to be in August. So, we have the Ordinary Marathon. So, I think him and I actually kind of have this interesting relationship over the last few years, which is we support one another wholeheartly, and I like what he does. I kind of think he, otherwise he wouldn't come on the podcast. He likes what we do. I think we have sort of a lot of overlap in terms of the people that listen to us and get involved with our pages. For me, I look forward to kind of picking his ear a little bit about coaching, his experiences, and how, if he has any tips for me or anything of that nature, since he's been doing it for years. And, this is his first virtual race. He's never done a virtual race before. So, you'd think I'd get mad because someone else is kind of infringing on my Ordinary Marathon space. But no, not mad at all. Because frankly, he can't touch the Ordinary Marathon. It's the best virtual race in the world. So I'm not even concerned at all. But what I'm going to show Denny is how to make the second best virtual race in the world. That's what we're going to do. But he's got a lot of great plans for his virtual race. They're supporting a great cause. We're going to talk about all that stuff on Tuesday. Hopefully have that podcast out for you before I leave for Lake Placid. Definitely will. Actually, on that note, we definitely will. What else we got? On that. So on the note of scheduling, to take a step back. That's what we were talking about. In addition to Ordinary Marathoner podcast, we have these, and the Ordinary Marathon virtual event, which we're always working on, constantly working on. And those of you guys who signed up, you're going to get a little bit of an added benefit in the coming days, I believe. I'm going to have something to put out for you guys. We're also working on Team Ordinary, which Team Ordinary is going to be our team concept. We're trying to, the way I saw it was this. We have this discussion group, and it's some of the most amazing people I've ever met, people who I would have never met if not for this podcast, if not for that discussion group, if not for the general support and positiveness, that all these people come together and exhibit on our message board. The message board itself, you know what? I've tried to grow it. I'm not a good marketer. I don't get out and shout from the highest rafters, hey, join my group. And every time I kind of lean that way and I try to push people towards it, I feel a little dirty. I don't know. I feel like it needs to just grow organically. And I also think that there's something going on with the algorithms over at Facebook. A lot of people just used to find our page and now they don't. And I think that a lot of that has to do with what they recommend to other groups and other people. And also, it seems to me like there's just so much advertising on Facebook these days that if I'm not paying for advertising or paying for people to come to my page, they're not going to really just put it up there for other people to find. And, whatever. It sucks in that way, but you know what? In another way, it's kind of natural. And to take those people that we have already, and it just only seems natural to kind of be a team. I mean, we kind of are a team already. So I like the idea of getting together and having sort of a concept, a framework, as a team for each other. I think a lot of people kind of made really positive comments when I just posted a logo on our Facebook page, and a lot of people thumbs up, liked it, whatever. We're looking forward to what we have in store, and I think we do have a lot going on. I'm trying to build the infrastructure for it right now. We're talking to some people about getting some shirts and hats and all that good stuff. But really, it's just to try to develop this team concept, and I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a really great thing when it's all rolled out. So I have a lot of work to do. So I put together my workout schedule, and then I overlaid a schedule for the next 2 weeks to try to build this infrastructure and all these other things that we're working on, so that when I come back from Lake Placid with my Ironman medal and finisher shirt, that it's ready to go. It's ready to go. And it's a lot of work, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm staring right at it, guys. It's right on my board. Here's the thing. So today, the idea was to do the podcast in the morning, and then begin my coaching certification exam. It's 100 questions. It's multiple choice. Once I start, I just want to get it done. I want to do the whole thing. But I need to get an 80, so I got to make sure, whatever, is what it is. A lot of people wouldn't tell you they're taking an exam in the morning because, God forbid, they failed. Then I got to tell you guys that I failed. And I'll totally admit that I failed. Either that or I'll come up with some crazy story like I was almost finished with the exam and my computer died. That's the one I'm going to use tomorrow. Now I probably jinxed myself and that's really going to happen. Then you guys are never going to believe me. Anyway. And then I have I have to do CPR certification on Saturday, and then that's it. Then I've checked all the boxes, and it's up to them to tell me I'm certified, which would be great. I can't wait for that to start and for that to happen. Now, after all those plans I've laid out, and I have daily goals to meet, and each goal, I think, if I can hit them all and they're all doable, I can fit them all in if I just focus and work on it. If I just do those little things each day and check those boxes, I will consider the next week a smashing success. If I'm able to do a little bit more, even better. I do have some other things that I want to do, some sort of some creative kind of side work that I want to add to it. But if I can just do what's on the board right now, I'll be happy. And then I remembered why I have such problems with my schedule. And I set the alarm early today and got up about 6. Steph and I both got up and we started moving around, getting things done. She had to go for her run. She literally is starting her Marine Corps marathon training. We have to work on her with that. She's got to get up to speed quickly. There's that. So she had to go running. The baby was still sleeping, so I was still home. The plan was for me to kind of just do the podcast early and then do the exam. We have our nanny coming over. And about 5 minutes before Stephanie leaves, the nanny texts us and she has pink eye. So, the best laid plans, it's like, all right, what are we going to do? So now we called our backup, and our backup was like, okay, yeah, I can take her. And so now I have to drive Ellie about, 3 towns away, to drop her off. And, is what it is. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not upset that my schedule got kind of, a little monkey wrench thrown right the very first day Very first day. What am I going to be upset that she? The alternative is she shows up at my house wearing like really dark sunglasses with hiding the pink eye, and then my daughter gets it. You know, my 7-month-old daughter gets pink eye. I don't need that. So I'm really glad she told me, and I'm really glad that we were able to kind of work around it. But I'm about 2 hours behind right now. 2 hours behind schedule of the first day where I kind of laid everything out and said, "Here's what I need to do." So yeah, that's what happens with schedules. So, hey, you know, thinking on the fly, I am probably going to cut this podcast short, but, what do you call it? You know, you kind of you gotta roll with the punches some days. Some days you gotta roll with the punches. And, you know, if it means that I have to take everything on my calendar and bump it back a day or fit some things together where I didn't think they'd fit before and maybe work a little harder one day than another, then that's just gotta happen. That's gotta be what it is. Because, you know, you lay out these plans and you say, all right, things are going to get done by this day. And the next thing you know, that day's there and those things aren't done. And, you can really bring you down. So I'm trying not to let that happen. I'm trying to kind of keep a good, positive outlook on this. And geez, I don't know if my nanny listens to my podcast, she's going to be like, she's going to feel bad, but don't feel bad. You did the right thing. It's just a matter. It's my fault. Not my fault. It's up to me to adjust and figure it out. And that's life, right? That's life. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So said someone once somewhere. And anyway, to get back to training, just in general, last night I did the bike. I did it for an hour. I didn't do yoga yesterday. I kind of got pushed away, and I wasn't really. I didn't prioritize it, so it was fine. I did an hour on the bike. I'm trying to kind of work through my. I have this foot pain, and I don't even want to bore you guys with the story, but I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of alleviate or at least decrease that. It's been really acting up on me the last few rides, and the last thing I want to do is ride 112 miles in Lake Placid and get out, and and my feet can't fit in my sneakers because they're all swollen. I don't need that. I do want to apologize yesterday for using the word jogging. That word should not be in my vocabulary. I will remove it as quickly as possible. I don't even know when I said it, but apparently I did, and I got called out. Why do we hate the word jogging, by the way? I mean, I think, you know what it is? I think we hate the word jogging because it suggests that we're not runners, we're joggers, which suggests that we loaf and, we loaf around. We don't really, I don't know. I don't know why we should be offended. It's just kind of a funny thing, I guess. I'm going to take it with good humor, but, I don't even think that the word jogging is in my vocabulary. I think if it is, it's from like the 1980s, when like jogging was a thing, when people were proud to call themselves joggers. And now for some reason we're not. I don't know. It's kind of funny how things like vocabulary and it's like a George Carlin-esque thing. He used to mess around with vocabulary and the evolution of words, but apparently jogging is no longer acceptable in the running community, and I apologize for that, and I will remove it from my vocabulary as soon as this podcast is over. With that being said, like I said, I'm going to call it quits today. Got to do my exam. Gonna make up that yoga session. I promise. I'll do that yoga session today. I put in an optional swim this afternoon if I get my exam done. Optional swim. If not, today's a day off. Today is yoga, and that's it. Yoga and potential optional swim if I get my exam done early. And really the reason for that is I've been on the bike for 3 days in a row, including, I did my 12.5 mile run on Saturday. I followed up with a 65 mile bike, half-hour bike on Monday, an hour bike yesterday. My legs were a little bit sore yesterday, so I definitely don't want to run or bike today. It's yoga and swim, but the swim is optional if I have the time, because my exam really takes precedence here. Anyway, that being said, let's call it a day. Hope you guys have good plans. Maybe not, maybe not as difficult to accomplish as mine with the monkey wrench today, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll catch up and get after it, right? So remember, every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. So get after it today, guys.
Remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel.